Okay, all right. Good Monday morning, party people. All right, as everybody jumps on, I'm gonna do attendance. I'm gonna do multitasking while you guys are hopping on here really quick. Let's see.
Hey, Miss Walker.
Yes.
It's Lily. So I downloaded the SchoolNet thing, like the app on my iPad, and I typed in my username and my password, and it's saying it's the incorrect login data.
Okay, so did it ask you or prompt you to reset your password?
No, and I just tried to do it again. It says incorrect login data.
Okay, give me just a second and I'll go back and just double check to make sure I sent you the right, I can't think straight, the right login, because
Right.
I reset everybody's password. Everybody's password is reset to equals 2021. So I'll double check just to make sure that I sent you the right login, but everything else should be okay. But that's kind of what I said last week, that today is very much going to be trial and error. Like once you log in and do it for the first time, after this, it'll be easy and you'll know what to expect. But for some reason, and I don't know why, for some reason, every time you try and do it for the very first time, it is, I'm not going to lie to you, sometimes it can be a headache because it'll work easily for some people, and then others, like you said, already running into bumps in the road. So just like a Band-Aid, we got to rip it off, get this first time over with, and then after that, you'll know what to expect and you'll be able to jump in and do it hopefully easy after this. Fingers crossed. So, but that's what we're going to talk about too, is we're going to do some troubleshooting, and if A, B, C, or D happen, you kind of know what to expect. So give me 1 second. Let me finish doing attendance, and then we'll go ahead and get into it for today. A couple of quick announcements, reminders. And like I said, the biggest thing for today is talking about SchoolNet, especially for those of you that have never used it before. And then also, what was my other thing? Oh, and then obviously reviewing for the quiz. That's important too, right? Okay, all right, sorry. Let me grab these last couple of fabulous people and then we will get into it for today. Let me make sure I got everybody. Let's see, last couple of people. I think I just about got everybody. Oops, okay. And then, all right, let me double check. I think I got everybody this time. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Still missing 2 people. Who did I miss over? I looked over somebody. Who did I look over? Oh. Okay, all right, I think I got everybody. And if anybody jumps on late, then I'll try my best to get everybody caught back up. Okay, all right, so first of all, let me do a couple of quick reminders, announcements, all the things. All right, so last week I started working on it, but I didn't get finished of setting everything up in PowerSchool so that I can go in this afternoon and actually start throwing in grades for you guys already. So if you get PowerSchool notifications, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting it set up, and then I'm going to start throwing in grades that I already have. So I'm kind of trying to stay on top of it. Here's a quick reminder, just throwing this out there. I think most of you know it, but just in case, as much as I love each and every one of you dearly, when it hits 4 o'clock on a Friday, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm checking out. All right, mentally, physically, all the things. So, and that's mostly true for during the week as well. It just kind of depends on what I've got going on, and mostly what I've got going on with my kids as to whether or not, after 4:30 I can assist you with something. So that all kind of goes into today, especially. I'm going to beg and plead with every single one of you, if at all, physically, mentally, emotionally, if at all possible, please attempt to go in and do this test before 4 p.m. Because God forbid something happen and you have trouble getting in to SchoolNet to go take your test. I cannot guarantee that I will be able to get back with you, and I can't guarantee that I will be able to check my email in time to help you if something goes wrong. Now, it is available from now until, now I know that you guys are allowed until midnight, but when it comes to SchoolNet, if you don't log on before 11 p.m., it will completely lock you out of the testing session. Okay. So if you are one of those individuals that either needs to or has to wait till the last minute for whatever reason, you've got to at least log in by 11 p.m. and I would do it by 10:59, just because I had students last semester, for some reason, I don't know why, it's like they had an adrenaline rush if they waited to log on right at 11 p.m. I don't know, maybe that's what it was. But for some reason, sometimes if they waited literally until 11 p.m., even sometimes then it would lock them out of the testing session. Okay. I don't want that to scare you, because you will in no way need an hour to do this quiz, because it is a quiz and it is a short quiz, but it still makes you log on before that last hour is up. So that's why it will say, log on by 11 p.m. Okay. So if you can, try and do it before today at 4, because like Lily just expressed, she had issues logging in. But I will warn you, all right, if you're just trying to log in, that's fine. But if you log in and put in that testing code, this and all your assessments will be timed. So unless you're planning on taking it right that minute, do not log in and put in the testing code, because it will go ahead and start counting down your time. Okay, so just a word to the wise.
How long is it? Like, how long do we have to take it?
So every test and quiz is going to be different based on how many questions are on it. Today's quiz, I gave you 20 minutes. I don't think most of you will need more than 10, maybe 12 minutes tops, but I gave you 20 just in case you do need a few extra minutes, because again, it is short, quick, it's all multiple choice. I think there's a couple matching and a couple true false, but we are literally about to go over every single question on that quiz. So if you got off this and went ahead and got it done, most people, I would say, would finish in the first 5 to 8 minutes.
And it's still log in.
It's still what?
It still ain't letting me log in.
Okay. So that's
Miss Walker.
We're gonna...
Sorry, you can go ahead.
Brindley.
Okay. But let's go ahead and cross that bridge. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about the troubleshooting. Okay. And again, it kind of depends. Every device is a little bit different. Some will be able to do the SchoolNet easier than others. And again, I don't really know why. It just is what it is. Okay. So here's some troubleshooting. All right. If it immediately gives you trouble, here's what we've done in the past. Several students said that they could not have more than one browser window open when they were on SchoolNet. So that might be one problem, which means you need to go and close everything that you have up. You can't have, like me, I usually have, 7 to 20 tabs up at one time. And that's usually just because I don't close anything. But that might be a problem, that a lot of times it needs to be just SchoolNet that is up and nothing else. Okay. So I would try that as problem shooting number 1. Make sure everything is closed except for SchoolNet. And here's what I even might do is open up a fresh window, like close everything out, open up a fresh window, and from there, go straight to that. I should have had it written down. I thought I had it memorized, but it's my.nc, I don't remember. Anyway, let me see if I can bring it up really quick. But it's in that instructions inside of Google Classroom. Where's the, okay, here it is. So open up a fresh tab, put in my.ncedcloud.org. As soon as that pops up, that's
Say that again.
Yeah.
Say that again. My dot what?
my.ncedcloud.org. And then from there, it will ask for your username and password. So everybody's password has been reset to Eagles 2021, and that's Eagles with a capital E. But you are going to have to email me individually to get your username. Number one, to make sure that nobody else gets and uses your username. And number two, that way you can refer back to it if you forget it. And of course, you're going to use the same username for every assessment. So theoretically, you will eventually memorize it. But until then, it'll be in your email so you can go back and refer to it for the next time. So as soon as you're ready, you email me, I'll shoot it to you, and I'll also have your test passcode in there if you hadn't written it down already, if you haven't pulled it up. So you'll put in your username, put in the default password, and it should prompt you to go ahead and reset your password and reset it to something you'll memorize, because you'll use that same password every single time. And then after you get in, again, what you're looking for is it's a red circle with a white schoolhouse building inside of it. That's the icon you push on for SchoolNet. It'll ask you for the test passcode. You'll type that in, and then it should let you get started. Okay.
Ms. Walker.
Yeah.
Is it going to be affected for me because I'm still a Wheatmore student?
When I went in this morning and I was making a list and I was writing everybody's user name, and it's actually a number, they don't have you in there yet. So,
okay, so will I be able to do anything?
That is a good question, because for some reason I didn't even think about that this morning. I tell you what, I've got somebody that I can shoot a quick email to and just ask, but I'm almost thinking that you're going to have to be released first before it's going to let you in.
Yeah.
Let me think on that, because I might be able to come up with like a username you can borrow while you're waiting. Let me think on that, and I'll get
Okay. Yeah, I've come officially on the 20th because that's when Wheatmore semester ends. But I'm finished with everything at Wheatmore, so I don't know why they don't just send me over. They're being a butthole about it, but
yeah, I understand that. Okay, so yeah, let me brainstorm on that and let me see if I can figure out. There might be a way for me to borrow a username for you to use temporarily while we're waiting. So that might be a plan.
Okay.
Okay, so as soon as we finish, I'll get with you. I'll shoot you an email.
Okay.
All right, so does anybody else have questions, issues, concerns as far as the logging on process? And like I said, most likely, I mean, I hope for you guys that it goes easily and smoothly and you try these troubleshooting and it works out. I hope that's the case, okay? But if not, like I said, from now until 4:30 today, at least, I will be watching for email notifications. You hit me up if you have a problem, okay? All right, so just a reminder that next week, if you are A day or B day in person, I am beyond excited to see you guys in person. I'm not gonna lie, all right? I'm gonna be honest. I believe that I am a much better in-person teacher than I am virtually. Now, I get it. I get it. I hear all the time that Mr. Goodwin is like a virtual teaching rock star. Okay. And you know what? That's fantastic. All right. Pat on the shoulder for him. Just living his best life out there, you know? Me, not so much. You know, we do our Zoom meetings. Most of you ghost me because you don't want to put on the video. And I think you're probably going to like catfish me next week, you know, because I'm going to be like, oh, you must be so-and-so. And you're like, no, that's not me. All right. That's fine. That's fine. I'll just trip you in the hallway. It'll be fine. Okay. I see how it is. Right. All right. But anyway, I'm excited. If you are coming in person, I am beyond excited for that. Don't forget, good news, you get a nice 3-day weekend to mentally prepare yourself for next week. So raise the roof on that, right? And then I think that's the big stuff. And then watch for your grades going in Power School. Okay. All right. And it's not going to take us but a couple minutes. So let's do it. Let's run through this quiz. Oh, and I will say, yes, you're welcome that I have made today's quiz actually easier than I originally planned. You know, again, out of my love for you guys, I have done that. Okay. It's all multiple choice. It's all matching. And we are literally going over every question that you're about to see on your quiz. Here we go. All right. So what area of the US are we talking about being classified as the last frontier? Well, it's the Great Plains. That's what we talked about all last week. Another thing we said was that we're killing off the buffalo, right? Almost to the point of extinction, because not only does it help us get rid of the Native Americans, but we're trying to build what we call a transcontinental railroad that goes all the way across East Coast to West Coast. And the Central and the Pacific are going to meet at Promontory Point, Utah. All right. And that connects our railroads. We talked about Custard, right? We said that Custard is considered to be a victim, and Custard is going to be shot and killed by Crazy Horse, quiz question, by Crazy Horse at, I about said the wrong one, Battle of Little Bighorn, all right? And it will ask you that, and it is Battle of Little Bighorn with Custard. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm hitting everything. I don't want to forget anything. All righty, what about the cattle industry? Remember, our ranchers are taking the Texas Longhorn up the long drive to get them on the cattle cars and send them back east to the slaughterhouses, okay? Our long drive is what our cowboys are doing to take them from the ranches to the cattle cars. Now, we do have a lot of people that invest in the cattle industry, which means we have an oversupply, which means prices are going to drop. So for multiple reasons, the cattle industry is going to start to decline, just like we're going to see an issue with farming as well. Of course, think about factors that play into it. If we have a drought and you can't take your cattle to get water, they're going to die that way. They're going to die from disease, all right? Especially if the population goes up, they're crowded together, die from disease as well. So what goes up will eventually come back down. All righty, here's a good one. If you're watching my instructional videos going over your Google Slides, you know that it was Joseph Glidden who invented barbed wire in 1867. That is going to start to close in the frontier. All right, no longer open spaces, and cattle and wildlife cannot eat farmers' crops if we're fencing everything off. All right. I told you last week, there's a couple of things that you cannot get confused, all right? The Homestead Act is going to give settlers 160 acres of land to farm and live on. The Dawes Act gives Native American families 160 acres to use. Now, again, with the Dawes Act, it was one of those Indian promises. We promised it, but it never actually happened. But we still have to document that because of the terrible treatment that's given to the Native Americans. Okay, now, One thing we talked about last week that will actually carry into this week is that the farmers and their growing frustration with the railroad owners and their crazy prices and the issues they're having with selling their crops, they create a third party known as the Grange. And again, that's something that I talked about more in my instructional videos than we actually probably discussed together last week. But third party that's created is called the Grange. Again, keep that in mind because we'll talk about it more this week. All right, what is the name for the massacre of Native Americans that happened in 1890 and was the last of the Indian battles? Wounded Knee. Wounded Knee. I think that question is actually on here twice today. All right, so Wounded Knee, last of the Indian battles. It all happened because of the Indians practicing that ghost dance ritual that was made illegal by the US government. Let's see, making sure. Oh, I about skipped over one. What state, which was formerly known as Indian Reservation Territory, was later created? It's right above Texas. Somebody throw me a bone. Somebody interact with me this morning. What state?
Oklahoma.
Yes, Oklahoma. Good. And I think that one's actually on here twice too. I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't realize it till after I did it. Oh, well, you'll get some easy ones. Okay. All right. Why does farming start to decline? Again, think about all the problems that farmers are having to deal with. Somebody talked to me. It was actually a bell ringer last week. What are some environmental events that our farmers are having to put up with?
Dust storms, harsh climates, hurricanes. No, not hurricanes. Tornadoes, and that's all I got.
Yeah, well, and don't forget, we even talked about crazy stuff like swarms of grasshoppers. You know, we got blizzards, we got all the things. So they're just experiencing all these problems, overproduction issues, prices dropping. So just God bless those poor little farmers. Okay, all right, a couple more and then we're done. Again, we said it was the Chisholm Trail that our cowboys are using to drive our cattle up to the railroads. We know the Homestead Act is for settlers going out on the Great Plains to claim lands. We know that this Wild West period only lasts for about 30 years before we say that we have settled the frontier. And we said this last week, we don't mean that we literally have somebody living on every square inch. We just mean that we have people that have covered the region to see what all it has to offer. Let's see. Last couple of questions. The Black Hills is one of the places that Native Americans are living on, and they were actually given that land until somebody finds gold on it. And once they find gold, we're going to move them off of that land to a different reservation. Let me make sure we didn't miss anything. I think we got just about everything, but I'm going to double check to make sure. Oh, I know the ones that I forgot, and I didn't really put, I don't know why, a whole lot of questions about mining yeah, not many questions about mining, but that question about boom and bust, all right, making sure that you know a boom town is a town that pops up almost overnight because people are finding gold and silver or whatever. And then, of course, once it goes bust, nobody's finding anything, it usually turns into a ghost town. And last but not least, what type of houses are farmers having to build because there's little to no trees on the Great Plains? Somebody throw it at me.
Sod.
Yes, sod houses, SOD, sod houses. Those are those big clumps of dirt held together by grass roots that were kind of putting together almost like bricks to create our houses. All right, guys, in a nutshell, that is it. Like I said, I didn't realize several questions repeat themselves, but it's a pretty easy quiz. I went in order for the most parts, and you should be able to knock it out. No problem. All All right, well, we got questions, comments, concerns. Anything?
Can I speak to you after this meeting?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else for the good of the group? Like I said, as soon as you're ready, email me. I'll shoot you your username, and I will be watching. I'll do some multitasking while I'm working on my computer. I'll be checking my phone for emails and any issues that you might have pop up. Fingers crossed you don't, but just in case, I'll be here if you need me. All right, anybody else? Let me, hold on. I think I might have missed something in the chat. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, so just shoot me an email when you're ready for your login information. All right, besides that, knock out your quiz, guys, and have a good rest of your Monday.
Hey.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. So I was brainstorming about my presidential oats cereal box. So I chose John F. Kennedy, and with John F. Kennedy comes with like dark humor with it in a way. So I was wanting to do like something that relates to like Rice Krispies, but it's Rice Kennedys.
Yeah.
And you know, like the slogan's like snap, crackle, pop.
Uh-huh.
Is it okay? Because I want to make this appropriate as possible for school. Is it okay if I could do snap, crackle, shot, Rice Kennedy?
Yeah, that's fine. That's cute. That's cute. Yeah, I mean, we're not we're not trying to make light of his assassination, but of course you have to acknowledge that that is one of the biggest things that he's most well known for. Not that he didn't accomplish a lot of good stuff, because he did. But no, I think that's fine. You got to have some fun with it. So that it'll be fun.
All right. I was just making sure because I was brainstorming with my mom the other night because I told her about this project, and I was like, and I just brought that up, and she's like, just go ahead and make sure that's okay. Just ask her after like a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, no, it's super cute. No, I was a little nervous just because sometimes, and it usually happens if it's a male student that gets Kennedy and they want to take it in the direction of his affairs with Marilyn Monroe, and they want to say other things that probably aren't so nice. So I wasn't sure what direction you were going to go with that, but no, I think that's fun.
Okay. And I'll email you about the SchoolNet information in just a few minutes.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. As soon as you're ready, I'll shoot it your way.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.